And we are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker. And what is up, everybody? It's your boy Ben Goosen back at y'all this week with the wrestling hot takes. We got a really busy week and fresh. You got to tell them where you're at. What up, Sage and Mark?
What up, Ben Goosen? How you living?
This is how I'm living. That's exactly how I'm living.
Well, you know what, sucker? Your boy's living and out of NOLA right now. What we doing right now? We about to do the Hall of Fame tomorrow. We getting all psyched and ready to go. Oh yeah, brother. Woo!
That's a. So, tell the fans when you went to NOLA. Tell them about Tell them about your trip and what made you decide to go. 'Cause this was, as far as we knew, we weren't going.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of the spur of the moment kind of thing. I figured, you know, this is a once in a lifetime. We might not see a lot of these people, the wrestlers of yesteryear after this year, man. I just got this feeling, this funny feeling. It's nothing bad, not wishing anything, but your boy needed to solidify his place in wrestling history, and by that, I needed to go out and pay my respects. I left Wednesday night, headed to NOLA, and here at the Hall of Fame, which is going to take place tomorrow, and yeah, I'm excited, man. Get to see, you know, Jeff Jarrett, Goldberg, and maybe get a glimpse of Ted DiBiase because I know he's there. I mean, I know he's not getting inducted again, but
Everybody's there. Yeah, everybody in the world.
boys got to go see him.
So let me ask you then. Let's get right into the show. This week we're doing a couple different shows for you. What we're going to do, we're going to start off with the Hall of Fame recap, and then later on, your boy Sage the Mark and I are going to get into our NXT Takeover preview. That's going to be an amazing card. I remember last year's amazing card we got coming up, and then we're going to give our week in wrestling review along with our WrestleMania 34 predictions. We have killing you with content week, 3 separate shows, 3 different breakdowns. Let's get started. The easy one. Let's get started on the Hall of Fame. So there's people, and this is where I really want to pick your brain here, Sage. So every year, there's people that are in the Hall of Fame. We didn't really do a review last year, a major review or anything, but there's people who make the Hall of Fame. Maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't. And I want to talk about that. We'll get into a couple of the guys that are going to the Hall of Fame. And this is the WWE Hall of Fame, not the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So let me ask you. Let's get right into it. Easiest one I could pick out. Hillbilly Jim. Does he deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I think so. I'm not too back in the time when he actually there, you know, he was a pretty big attraction. I think it's kind of well noted, you know. Anyone who's on Scooby-Doo or who has a guest appearance on Scooby-Doo deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, man. To me, that's kind of like transcending just your professional sport. You're branching out to something that's completely bringing in different crowds and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I think he is, man. I don't. I mean, is he supposed to be a top bill or a top what do they call the main event for Hall of Fame? Of course not. But I think he's done his time. And one of the things that I think that gets overlooked is what a lot of these wrestlers might do behind the scenes that we never get accustomed to until we get a 30 by 30 or something like that gives us a peek behind the scenes, man. But
So,
I think he deserves to be there.
Name a match of his that wowed you.
It wasn't so much that his matches wowed me. I'm not a big Hillbilly Jim fan, but I mean they were entertaining. His match with
Uh, uh,
Valentine, the Greg the Hamatime Valentine. I enjoyed that back in the heyday. Um,
are you just making it matches at this point because he doesn't have any great matches?
it's I don't th- okay. I I don't think the Hall of Fame is just strictly should be strictly about great players because I mean we look at the NBA and not all the people that are in the NBA's Hall of Fame are great players by any stretch of the imagination. I mean we've got who do we got in there? We got Isaiah Ryder.
Isaiah Ryder's in the Hall of Fame,
I think so.
but
I don't think he's great by any stretch of the imagination.
at least in the
I don't
NBA,
think he's had a Jordan career.
I don't think he's had a great career. But at least in the NBA and sports, you have stats. In wrestling, it's there's no stats. I don't know what he did. He never had any titles. I mean, he was around. He was a character. So does that mean Boogeyman should be it? The Boogie Mine? Boogie Mine.
The Boogie Mine.
Yeah. That's when Lucius from Empire puts on the mask.
Yeah, I mean, we can't compare apples to apples. Like it's not about the amount of titles that you win, right? Sometimes that you're put in there to put other people over. I mean, the Brooklyn Brawler, by all stretches of the imagination, should be a Hall of Famer, right? He didn't. He only won one match in his entire career. But was he entertaining? He was entertaining. Was it a great feel good moment when he actually won his first match? Yes, it was. But he also did a lot of good stuff behind the scenes that we never knew about. Like he coached and mentored a lot of people coming up, a lot of people that were bigger than he was, and that became more popular than he was. And I think that the WWE Hall of Fame is also meant to like pay homage to that as well.
Okay, so it's what he bought to the wrestling industry, right? That you're saying,
sorry,
like,
say that again?
It was his longevity and what he bought to the wrestling industry.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. It's for us fans, we probably see it as titles and stuff, but you have to remember, it's not us, the fans, that are nominating these people into the Hall of Fame. It's their peers and the company that's putting them in the Hall of Fame. And obviously there was something that they did both on screen and off the screen that warranted them being in there. Now, if we want to have a conversation of who doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, we only need to be looking at some of these celebrity ones that they keep putting in there just for S and giggles. You know what I mean? Like, and to me,
exactly where I was going. Yeah, it is trash. It is. So let's get into it. Kid Rock. Should Kid Rock be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
As a fan, I say hell no. And I say hell no for only one reason and one reason only. There is no way this guy is more significant and has contributed, and this is their own words saying that he contributed a lot to the WWE. No one's contributed more in that role that he plays than Jim Johnston. And there is no, I still don't understand why Jim Johnston is not in the fucking Hall of Fame. I'm already putting an explicit tag on this right now. There's no reason that he should not be in the Hall of Fame. Kid Rock should not be going before Jim Johnston. President Trump or Donald Trump should not be going in before Jim Johnston. Mr. T should not be going in before Jim Johnston. Mike Tyson should not be going in before. They just shouldn't. It's asinine to me that this guy who has been there since like almost day one, who has given us the greatest theme songs of all time, We've got Psycho Sid. We got Bret Hart. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Mr. Perfect. We got the Repo Man. We got the Undertaker. We got even Baron Corbin's new song, all produced by Jim Johnston. WWE, what the hell are you doing? He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's just a matter of time. And you're right. I'm not a big fan of the Celebrity Hall of Fames. They're kind of just, kind of just a blur to me. Mike Tyson was a big star. I'll give him that. Maybe, who knows who we'll have one day. But let's move on because there's a lot of really deserving people to be on here. Now, Ivory. I mean, I know she's got the thing going on with Glow, but I'm going to be honest. Well, not too impressed with her WWE career in the WWE Hall of Fame. And I can't put her on the pedestal unless I'm missing something of she did this for women. And I was a fan because she teamed with D'Lo, and you know D'Lo's my boy. But I just can't. Ivory, I just... Oh, you hear him in the background, right? Dumb cat. So, and he's disagreeing with me. No, he's probably agreeing with me. So, I just can't. I hate to say it, no knock on the person ever, but Ivory just doesn't deserve it for me. She doesn't have a multiple title reign. I can't say, man, you had this one great match or anything. So to me, sorry, Ivory, you don't make the cut.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to advocate for Ivory as well. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to be there, but I can't advocate for her. I don't think the WWE has done a great job outside showcasing that she was, you know, part of the Glow and kind of helped establish the women's division based off of what, you know, what she did there.
Ivory has had no major impact on the WWE women's division.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of any stories or anything of that nature. But the question that I would pose to you, Goose, is who would you put in her stead?
There's a lot. I would go, if I had to pick, and that's a great question. If I had to pick a woman that went ahead of Ivory, I would go with... That's a good question. Well,
Stacy Keibler?
No, because she didn't do anything for the wrestling. So
what? She was Major Guns.
Major Guns was Major Guns was somebody else. Major Guns was in WCW and went on and did like porn videos and shit.
Dude, wasn't she in WC? She was in WCW. She started in WCW, then went to, and then won the Dudleys.
Trust me, don't confuse. Okay, when we get off this podcast, I just
am I thinking of somebody else? Is that not Major Guns?
No, Major Guns. So Stacy Keibler started in WCW. She had like the secretary dancing, the sexy secretary thing going. So yeah, she did that thing. But trust me, if you are ever gonna look up, if I told you, hey man, type in Major Guns in Google and see what comes up, you better be rocking the incognito mode. Trust me. You best be rocking that incognito mode. So the obvious answer, I'm trying to think of what's not the obvious answer, but the obvious answer is for sure China, right?
Yeah, China. Yeah, for sure.
She would have been my ultimate first answer. But quite frankly, there hasn't been a lot of women that just weren't, you know, stereotyped or kind of stood out or anything like that. So outside of China, I really couldn't put any woman above Victoria? Ivory.
I think Victoria had a pretty good. I mean, Victoria was up there with. Yeah, Victoria was up there with Lita and Trish.
Yeah. And she was about as successful. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She was about as successful as Beth Phoenix, and Beth Phoenix is in. So I may have gone that route.
So you think it's just maybe a poor choice? Maybe they should have inducted two women instead of one.
Yeah, maybe they could have. But just maybe the drop off between maybe that's what it is. So there you have your top tier women, like for sure the Trish Stratus's, Lita's, China's, Charlotte, what would be today, Sunny, Alundra Blaze, but the drop off to the next tier is pretty. Not to knock on the women, they're fantastic, but the drop off is really steep. You know what I mean? Between like first level Hall of Fame and second level.
Yeah, like
Okay.
you're probably right. It's pretty lazy.
Yeah, it's pretty steep.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into tag teams. There's a tag team going this year, and they're being inducted by Edge and Christian. You can catch Bubba Ray on Sirius XM's Busted Open Radio.
Bro, they ain't even paying us to plug, bro.
They ain't paying you.
Don't put those fools over.
No, not paying you. My check's clear. Trust me. My check's clear very well.
I'm filing that suit tomorrow, bro. Expect subpoena tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, all my money's in Bitcoin, so take it because it's dropped off the map.
Hey, with the Cloud Act, bro, I'm gonna be able to find it now.
So the Dudleys are getting inducted tomorrow night. Obviously, these guys deserve it, right?
Yeah, hands down. I don't think anyone could even come close or dispute the Dudley boys going in. My question is it the Dudley boys with Spike or without Spike?
Without Spike, because they were so successful as a tag team by themselves. They've had 20 plus, I think 23, 24 championships. They were great with Spike, don't get me wrong, but they just won so much on their own. And I don't think there's much to talk about the Dudley boys, right?
Nope.
Like, that's an obvious one. Now, here's one I'm interested in. With the 3 remaining Hall of Fame inductees, we've talked about it before on the podcast. You actually asked me about it, I think, 2 months ago. Jeff Jarrett. And I think, if I recall right, I said, no, he won't be in the WWE Hall of Fame because he's just not yet. Maybe later, but not yet, if I recall right. So here's the thing. He's being honored and brought into the WWE Hall of Fame. So that includes WCW as well, but not TNA. So was his impact in the wrestling business or talk to me about why Jeff Jarrett deserves to be in the WWE keyword Hall of Fame?
Well, I think that this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier is, he's being honored for his contributions. He's being honored or being nominated by his peers. His run with WWE was very short, memorable, but short. I think that indirectly his actions outside of WWE speaks volumes, man. And I think that that's what it is. It's a combination of Vince burying the hatchet, before he finally says goodbye to his product. He's burying the hatchet with all of the sour relationships, right? We saw it with Savage, and we saw it with
Hogan,
with Ultimate Warrior. We saw it with Hogan, and Jeff Jarrett is really the last. Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart's wife is literally the last 2 pieces of this entire puzzle before it's complete. And I think Owen's probably going to be the last. But Jeff Jarrett, without Jeff Jarrett, call it what you will, and you might not like Jeff Jarrett at all. And I understand, I get that. But the one thing that you can't take from him is that he tried his best to give us an alternative to WWE. And we can sit here and debate that no, his TNA was never competition. But if you go back and you look at it, the women's division or the knockouts division in TNA has always, 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 up until recently, been superior to WWE's. And it wasn't until recently where they changed their attitude to where how women wrestled. Coincidence? I don't know. We also had let's see, we've also had some of the greatest wrestling talent being fostered and given second chances. Um, after they've been on WWE and they've gotten turned away, Jeff has helped them foster better relationships and helped them hone their craft. I mean, we starts with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode, but even to the newer ones like EC3 and Spike and JB, the who's now the producer, one of the producers over there at WWE, all given chances, second chances by this guy right here. And you can't not recognize that contribution, regardless if he hasn't been in WWE or not. Like, everybody knows him. He is a household name, whether you like it or not.
I agree. I think his impact, no pun intended, his impact in the wrestling community in general is big. We talked about it a while back. I don't know how big his he doesn't have a match that instantly stands out to me as the greatest of all time, but neither does the Miz. I mean, the Miz has had some great matches, but there's no GOAT style matches, but they're just a lot of very, very, very good matches. Jeff Jarrett helped put China over. He's a big, big, big man that lost the Intercontinental title. He had Slapnuts. His WCW work, you could take it for what it's worth, but he was better off in WWE. And
he had the most iconic things happen to him, bruh. You already said it. It starts with Slapnuts. He had the kitchen match, the Intercontinental match with China. He laid down for Hogan, and he gave people a second chance that couldn't cut it their first time around in WWE.
You're absolutely right.
And if it wasn't, man deserves it.
We may not have an AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, or Bobby Roode. Three guys two of the three on WrestleMania's card this week, which we'll get into in another show that we're going to kill you guys again, spamming you with content this week. We appreciate all you guys listening. Without that, yeah, if Samoa Joe was healthy, then we'd be 3 for 3. Now, I want to get into Mark Henry before we get into Goldberg, because that's the obvious main guy name. So Mark Henry, I feel like Sexual Chocolate never had a title run. When Mark Henry first debuted, he was often injured. But what would you say? Would you agree with me in saying he's had longevity in the business, so that automatically, if you have longevity, even if you don't win heavyweight championships, you kind of get put in there in the Hall of Fame category because you were good enough to not be fired, but also good enough to put someone over and understand the business and make someone look good. But let me ask you this. Well, let me ask you, just give me a quick yes or no. Does Mark Henry deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
If Mark Henry never went salmon suit and introduced the Hall of Pain, if his career stopped that night.
Goose, why you putting me on the spot? Yes, even without the salmon suit, he still belongs in the WWE Hall of Fame, bro. But the salmon suit does help, bro.
So the salmon suit Hall of Pain was great.
Dude, is he going to wear the salmon suit tomorrow? That's all I want to know. Is he going to wear it tomorrow, man?
But are you serious? If his career would have ended at Sexual Chocolate, do you think he really would have been in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, because he, like the Undertaker, behind the scenes is very, very instrumental to talent. I mean, we've even seen it actually. He was in one of the judges for the Tough Enough and or one of the coaches for the Tough Enough thing. Like, he does a lot of behind the scenes work with new and upcoming talent. So it's not just again, when us as fans, we have to take 2 steps back when we're trying to judge whether or not someone is worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. It can't. I know that we get caught up in the nostalgia of titles, runs, and storylines and things of that nature, but if you do just as much good work off the screen as you do on the screen, I think that goes, I think you should be recognized for that as well. I mean, it's like having a performance review, right? When we have a performance review, they ask us to do write-ups of how we evaluate ourselves, because a lot of times what we put on paper, other people don't actually see it, because a lot of us don't showboat or flamboyant about the way that we go about doing our business. Does that mean that we didn't work twice as hard as the person who gets recognized for all the rewards? No, it just means that we are more silent, more introverted about the way that we go about doing things. We still should be recognized for our accomplishments, just like the wrestlers. They should be recognized for the work that they do off the screen just as much as they do on the screen.
Yeah, understood and agree. I think Mark Henry deserves to be in there. The last one, let's go into Goldberg. How Goldberg deserves to be in there in the Hall of Fame for sure. No doubt. But is he the guy in the Hall of Fame with the least amount of great matches? Because he didn't have a huge impact with his... Goldberg, the character, had a bigger impact than the in-ring product, like the in-ring wrestler. Goldberg, he was the one who kind of kept WCW in the lead in the ratings war. So I appreciate all that Goldberg's done, and he definitely deserves it. But he's... No, Goldberg deserves it 100%. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think he does. I mean, he deserves it. Out of everyone that is, God, it's kind of hard for me to say this, man, because I kind of feel like Jeff Jarrett should probably be ahead of him. But the only reason why he is not is because more people know who. Like, Goldberg had a bigger on-screen impact, which overshadows
by far
everything. And the Dudleys are great, and ECW, yay, but at the end of the day, I can name off at least five phenomenal, I shouldn't say phenomenal, memorable Goldberg matches, but I probably can't give you 2 great matches from the Dudleys or Jeff Jarrett. And that's just, it's a sign of, how much they pushed him,
Yeah.
I mean, it's no hate on them at all, but it's just, I mean, that's just the way the business is. There's some people who are meant to be mid-carders and to make everybody else look good. And then there's primetime players.
That's a great way to word it.
We need to make that into a bit, bro.
No kidding. That's a great way to word it. Like a solid way to word it. So we could agree. I think at the end of the day, we know that the show tomorrow night, the WWE Hall of Fame, we're recording this on a Thursday, by the way, the night before the Hall of Fame. Sage is actually out in New Orleans, going to go to the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. We're pumped. We're pumped for sure. I think it's going to be a great Hall of Fame night. I really hope that they do somewhat of a good job. For me, who watches it live on the network, they do a good job of keeping people to a time limit, and they play the wrap it up music, kind of like I'm playing right now on myself, and they keep it to 15 minutes of speech or less, because those Hall of Fame, they can go on for like 4 hours, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, hey everybody, we appreciate you listening. Again, we got some killer content coming out to you this weekend. I'm your boy Ben Goose, and that's your boy Sage the Mark. Keep it real. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy Ben Goose, and visit us on IRWP.us. The thoughts and opinions today are that of the host and not of the IRWP. Again, remember to always keep it gangster. We'll go ahead and say keep it gangster like Conor McGregor did today. Go look it up online if you don't know what I'm talking about. Hit us up again. Just type in It's Real Wrestling Podcast on Twitter, IRWP.us, or give us a call. Give us a call. 419-IRWP. I'm going to give you the zip code on how to give us a call to the next podcast. Hit us up. IRWP.us. Again, it's boy Ben Goosen and Sage Mark. Later. And we are
We want the gold, sucker! We want the gold, sucker!
Yo, what is up? Guess what? We're back again. Back to 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 back. Going back to back. It's your boy Ben Goosen, and I'm here along with Sage the Mark on our first ever Killing Them Content week. What a better week to choose than WrestleMania week. If you happen to have a chance to listen to the show that we did not too long ago, it was a good solid show. We went over what our thoughts were and who deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. You'd actually be really interested into our thoughts on Ivory, the only woman going into this year's Hall of Fame. We also discussed if Mark Henry truly deserves it.
Salmon coat.
Maybe. There he is. What up to my boy who has actually, by the time you listen to this, he will be long gone from New Orleans. What up, Sage the Mark?
Y'all know the drill. Keep it real.
All right, I'm out. Y'all have it.
We in NOLA right now, baby. IRWP representing. You know how it is. I'm walking out. Hall of Fame is lit. IRWP is lit. Y'all get it done. Let's go.
Yo, amazing show. A lot of shows. Again, it's our first ever Killing Them with Content week. Hit us up, irwp.us. You'll know where to find us. You can find me on Twitter at Ben_Goosen. Sage, where can they find you on Twitter, by the way?
You know, your boy is with the at Real WrestleCast. I mean, primarily, but you can hit me up at Sage the Mark on Twitter as well. It's Real Wrestling Podcast on Instagram. You guys know the drill. I don't know what I was gonna say after that. Don't slide in the DMs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a definitive heads up. I'd never even thought about that.
Killed.
Yeah. Y'all could hit us up in the DMs. We got some good followers, some good content this week. We had a lot of back and forth. Unfortunately, we'll get into this on our next show. Sling didn't really help us out all too much, but we got some good feedback from different people all across the country. And yeah,
I'll say that for the next show.
If you hit us up, yeah, we will. If you hit us up in the DMs, we will respond. But just remember, your ass might get us in trouble with Mrs. the Mark and Mrs. Goosen. Maybe one day we'll get Mrs. Mark and Mrs. Goosen on the show. Not that people want to hear it, but I just like putting people on the spot who aren't wrestling fans, especially girls. It's funny to put them on the spot until my wife comes out and says, man, I like Titus because he's chocolatey. I'm saying, well, what the hell is that? You like chocolatey, man? You're going to cheat on me? No. I like Elias because he has a man bun and a beard. And I'm like, oh, you trying to leave me? And then it's going to ruin my relationship. And then I won't have anywhere to live and the show will be canceled. That's how it goes down.
All I'm saying is I want to get it on the record why she likes to interrupt us while we're watching the women's segment.
That's how it goes down. That's how it happens. I pretend like I'm asleep when the women's segment goes on and I hear my wife come out the room, I just pretend like I'm asleep.
I need to do that, bro. But I think the missus would probably go in and turn it off and then try to tell me to go go to bed.
You need to come. Yeah. And then I'll try to flip the script when I get in bed. But today's show is not, maybe it's PG, maybe it's not. I'm not going to talk about how I try to flip the script in bed and go all sexual chocolate. I'm not going to talk about how, as a matter of fact, if you want to hear my opinions on Mark Henry, go back and listen to the last show that we uploaded this weekend. What we're going to talk about today, we got some predictions we got to get into. We have some NXT takeover predictions we got to get into. So let's get right into the show. What I like, let me just say this, Sage. What I like about NXT is that they do a good job of these takeovers of keeping it to two, give or take, but it's a 2-hour show. So I don't get bombarded with a 3 or 4 hour show because the takeovers normally the next day have a 3 or 4 hour show. What soon may be 4 hours after WrestleMania and the brands merge on pay-per-views. Are you a fan of them having, I mean, sometimes they go long, 2.5 hours if the main event's good and all that stuff. I assume you're a fan, right, of just having a solid 2-hour show? That's nothing but wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think NXT does a great job of storytelling. So it doesn't feel like you're in a 2-hour show, to be honest with you. And it goes by really, really quick. I remember when we were in NXT Houston for War Games, like it was 3 hours, but the 3 hours just went by like so quick, like in a blink of an eye. So I mean, that's a good sign that that's the storytelling. You know, the storytelling is there. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's get right into it. We have a hell of a card this weekend. The takeovers are always amazing cards. So let's kick off because we got our boy Adam Cole, baby, pulling double duty.
That's right.
We confirmed it this week in this week's edition of NXT that the NXT Tag Team Champion Triple Threat match, in keeping with the theme of Triple Threat Mania, which is the title of our show the other week, we have the Undisputed Era versus Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne and the Authors of Pain, the AOP, and they win this. The winner of that gets a cold beer in the NXT Championship. So I like that the AOP is in there, I believe, at least 4th NXT takeover now. As
wait, the AOP and Pete Dunne aren't in this one, man. They're in the Dusty Classic, bro.
But yeah, well, the Dusty Classic is also for the NXT Tag Team Championship.
You
win both. Yeah, you win both.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you win both.
Okay. I'm down for that. This is going to be one hell of a card. Let's go.
No, yeah, you can't beat that. So you are the winner of the Dusty Classic and the winner of the Tag Team Championships. So I love that the AOP is getting their rub. You know, they've been on several pay-per-views now or on NXT takeovers. I like Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. It's kind of an interesting tag team because they were feuding and all that stuff not too long ago. So I like what they've got going on. I don't know who I have winning this one. If you just told me to pick on paper, I may go Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne on this one, the Bruiserweight.
Nope. First off, I'm kind of upset the AOP is even in this match itself because we all know that they weren't going to win, and I think that this would have been a better card had the Street Profits beat AOP in the match. Like, you guys got me believing that AOP can beat Heavy Machinery, but then they can't turn around and beat AOP, which I mean are the same size and strength as Heavy Machinery. Like, I agree. I was super, super hyped that they were going to be in it, man. I think they deserve to be in it, but I think that this is the send-off match for AOP. And I think that's the reason why that they put them in this position. But I think Undisputed is going to keep it, and I think that there's a reason why they're going to keep it. So we'll
Same
talk
here.
about that a little bit later.
Same here. I truly think that they're going to keep it too. I would. Well, let me just make it official. I think they're going to keep it, but I would like to see Pete Dunne and them win it. I think there's a lot going on at this NXT, and there's something that concerns me. And what concerns me is the 6-man ladder match for the North American Championship. So I like what NXT's doing with the regionalized championships. So it's going to be EC3 pulling double duty, I assume. Pulling double duty, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and Kelly and Dane. I personally haven't seen Ricochet wrestle. My concern is that Ricochet is somebody I haven't seen him wrestle. My concern is that he's a spot monkey and needs just, crazy backflips or crazy big spots to really wow the crowd. That's my
saying
that's
are
my
you saying that
concern.
he's an obsolete mule?
Might as well.
Yeah, he needs to be prepared for deletion.
Oh yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I think I hope he's not, because people who just hit big spots don't last long, and I want to see this person around a long time. So I'm pumped to see the ladder match, because if anybody could put on a hell of a ladder match, it'd be any combination of guys in NXT. Let's pick the winner, though. Who's coming out of that thing as the winner?
Yeah, man. I'm kind of torn on this one, man. My gut is telling me that Adam Cole, baby, is gonna win this one, so that way it gives him an opportunity to run 3 deep in titles with this faction. But I want Velveteen to win this title. I feel like he deserves a title run, and I know that he's never gonna have the NXT title ever. I think they're going to be saving that for his main roster run.
I agree.
Probably I can't see Velveteen staying there past Brooklyn. I can't, but yeah, I mean, my gut's gonna go with Adam Cole, man. I think it makes the most sense. EC3 and Ricochet are probably going to have a program.
Yeah, stick around in NXT for a bit, right?
Yeah, Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan are feuding right now, so that's gonna likely spill over to Brooklyn. So that the only logical choice would either be Dream or Adam Cole, and then they can probably fight for the actual title in a singles match at Brooklyn.
And that's who I'm going to go with too. I'm actually going to go with Adam Cole to pick up that one. Now let's get into the women's. Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. Is this the night that Ember Moon finally loses the title?
I think it is, man. And I think that I hate to be that guy, but Ember's getting called up. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's plain as day. They're not gonna wait on her like they did on most people. Waiting until Brooklyn and then releasing her after Brooklyn. She's getting the call up literally the day after WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised if she'll be in the Battle Royal. She's in the Royal Rumble itself. She's good to go. She's floundering in NXT right now. Ever since Asuka left, like, her character's just kind of diminished overall. And that's just because I don't think that they want to put her in a program with any of the other girls that are being called up, like Iconic and I think Sanity's going to get called up pretty soon here too. So Nikki Cross is probably going to be called up too. So it would make no sense to keep her there. Just nothing for her.
I love the post Raw and post SmackDown NXT call-ups, by the way. So I do. I think Shayna Baszler is going to win, especially if she can get a little title run while Ronda Rousey gets set, and then they'll set up some type of 4 horsewoman match. Now I'm gonna switch it up because the main event is obviously gonna be Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black, but I don't think it'll be match of the night. So before I think we pick the winner of another match, I think we should get into who's gonna win. Almas is good in the ring, but it's been a whole nother level since Vega's been with him. So Andrade Cien Almas and Aleister Black, who's walking out of there as the champ?
Cien's getting called up, bruh. He's also one of those ones where it's just clear as day that it's his time. They need a star to kind of fill in that gap where Alberto Del Rio was, and even though I think
stars.
they need a pure Mexican star. That's what they're lacking, especially on Raw. I mean, they got Seth Rollins, but I mean, outside of, I think he doesn't really identify, or the crowd doesn't identify
the gimmick or the character. So you think Aleister Black's going to take this one?
Yeah, I think he will. It's time for Cien to come to the main roster. It's like Raw could just, and then when he comes to the main roster, I don't want to see him job. Like, if you're going to just send him there to job and to quote unquote pay his dues. No, we saw a lot of that. We saw him do that enough in NXT for his first 2 years. We don't need to see. He's wicked talented, way too talented. And if he has Selena Vega by his side, oh my God, the role of the manager will come back. Just so many possibilities, man.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. So I think, since you put it that way, I think the same thing. I think that Andrade Cien is going to lose this one because I think Aleister Black could run with the title for a while and have some meaningful feuds. And Andrade Cien could get called up. I actually think he's going to get called up to SmackDown. Now let's get into the match that I think could both agree on should steal the show or be the match of the night. Easily. Gargano versus Ciampa.
Yeah.
If Gargano wins, he's reinstated. If Ciampa wins, Gargano's gone for good. This match could and should be match of the night. No gimmick to it, no multi-man or anything. I'm going to go with easily. I think it'll be a great match. And I'm going to go with Gargano. So he gets reinstated. And to be honest with you, I think both of them will get called up within a month. Called up to the main roster within a month.
So you're saying that he wins, but then gets called up?
Yeah, maybe they'll get called up to the same show or 205. Who knows? But
yeah,
this is the ending of their feud to me.
I definitely think this is definitely the ending of their feud. But I've got Ciampa winning this one, and like they don't belong there, bro. I mean, we said this at the very beginning of them coming in when they initially came in. Like, their ring work is just so solid. Like, just it's wicked solid. They belong on the main roster. I mean, I know that we're putting all these people in there and it's getting kind of crowded, but like they've always belonged on the main roster. They've never really needed developmental. I don't think that their quote unquote character has changed very much. I think they talk great on the mic, or even the whole silent not talking on the mic. They've got great crowd control. I don't think the NXT can't offer them anything more.
I agree. I think that they've kind of maxed out everything they could do in NXT possible. I mean, to me, I purely think that match is going to be the match that steals the show. I mean, it's definitely got the potential for it. NXT in general is going to be a hell of a card. NXT, the takeovers, nobody ever complains about the takeovers in general, just because they're awesome and you get good quality wrestling. Not a lot of backstage segments. not a lot of interviews. So we're looking forward to it. Your boy Ben Goosen's looking forward to it. Your boy Sage the Mark is looking forward. He's going to be real tired because he's got a heck of a drive back to old San Antone after he leaves New Orleans. So hit us up, irwp.us at Ben_Goosen at it. Just, you know what? I don't even need to tell you the at. Just go on Twitter and type in It's Real Wrestling Podcast. It'll be easy to find us. Hit us up anytime. You just heard our NXT review. We're coming at you with more Killing Them with content. We got our WrestleMania review, the Week in Wrestling, the Raw and SmackDown review. We had some go-home shows. The shows ended up actually being pretty good considering the NCAA, which is in San Antonio, which is where Sage the Mark and I probably should have went to hang out at. We got great Raw, great SmackDown this week. Everybody killing them with content. 2018. Keep it real.
Everybody's got a price.
And we are
We want the gold, sucker! We want the gold, sucker!
And what is up? It's your boy Ben Goosen coming at you here live. WrestleMania weekend, the best weekend. If you're a wrestling fan, it's legit the best weekend in wrestling. Nowadays, WrestleMania weekend is a phenomenon. If you were in New Orleans this weekend, you literally have the chance to see every single wrestler in the entire world. ROH, NJPW, Lucha Underground, Impact. Everybody is in New Orleans this weekend. You have no excuse to not just absorb wrestling this weekend. I could talk to you all day about absorbing wrestling this weekend, but I can't do it by myself because I'm joined by my boy, Sage the Mark.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Who that, who that, who that, who that, who that, who that, who? Who that, who that, who that, trying to get up in my crew. What up, Goose?
Yo, what up? Killing them with content week. Great week. Biggest week in wrestling. Let's get right into the show this week. We're going to hit y'all with some WrestleMania predictions, but before we get into that, Raw and SmackDown. Raw was competing this week with the NCAA championship. I watched the game. I watched the second half. Correction. I watched the last 5 minutes of the second half. Not too entertaining. I'm not a big college basketball guy. Not too entertaining. I just kind of wanted to see what was going down in old San Antonio, see how things were going. You know, props to all the teams that competed, but I care about wrestling on Monday nights. That's what I get into on Monday nights, especially when NFL isn't on and there's no Monday Night Football. And we had a pretty decent, I'm not going to lie, we had a pretty decent Raw considering it was competing against the NCAA tourney in March Madness. We had a pretty decent Raw. Key takeaways from Raw, Sage. Key points on what you like before we get into our WrestleMania predictions.
I definitely enjoyed the Sasha Bailey fight in the ring. The Absolution's getting better, so that's a good thing. I did enjoy Braun introducing us to his tag team partner Brains. Elias always on point, and I respect the whole John Cena Undertaker not showing up. I love it. We talked about it, in the last couple of weeks. I think that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, by far. I thought Raw was decent. The Brock Reigns thing, did you notice?
Sucked.
Yeah. Before I get into Brock and Reigns, you're right. Cena and Undertaker, that was the best way to go about it. I'm actually going to be on the edge of my seat this weekend to see if Undertaker shows up. Great promo by Cena. Great promo work this week. The promo was better than the match by Elias. Elias, man, whole nother level. I think the second half of this wrestling year, which starts after Mania, is going to be amazing for Elias. I thought the Finn Balor Seth Rollins match was pretty good. Those guys can put on a show. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising, but I don't. I think that they gave us that match because I think one of them will not be on the Raw roster after Mania, so it's just kind of like a teaser kind of thing. That's kind of how I see it.
Great point. I didn't even think about that. Didn't think about that at all. But yeah, we found out who found out who Braun's tag team partner may be. Brain Strowman. I like that segment. I thought that segment was cool. It was funny. It was perfect for a go home show. One thing I did like is that Roman Reigns was cheered. Did you notice that? There was no boos, like the token Mark boos.
Yeah, international crowd in full effect going forward, man. But yeah, I did notice that he was getting cheered. But as I said last week, I really don't give a flying hoot. This match sucks, bores me. No no slide on Roman or Brock. It's just I'm not interested in anything to do with the Universal title at all. I think it's a waste of piece of crap. I think that creative has just made this whole experience around the Universal title just worthless. And I will be royally pissed if this match goes on last in front of the WWE title.
Oh, I have a feeling it's going to end last. We'll get into our predictions here in a bit on who's actually going to win that match. But Raw was not that bad this week. I'll give it that. I thought Raw had some good takeaways. Cena was actually getting cheered and The Undertaker getting booed, which is just crazy to even think about. And Miz was solid on the mic as usual. But I thought Raw was a pretty good. Most go-home shows can be kind of boring. But it was a good go-home show. It made you wonder, all right, well, what's going to happen? What's going to go down at WrestleMania? Is The Undertaker going to show up? Who's Braun's partner? All that stuff. Obviously, me and you are hoping deep down that it's Elias. And you mentioned earlier the main event and where you want Brock and Roman placed on the card. So I want to ask you, as we get into our SmackDown review, would you want the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match before or after Daniel Bryan's return match?
I want the Universal title match to be on the pre-show.
Wow. Strong words from Sage Mark.
I mean, I'm dead serious. I'm not even trying to be funny with it, man. I think that this match is a disgrace. I hate the fact that Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali are getting pre-show treatment. I think that match is 100 times more interesting than the Brock Roman match or feud. Nobody wants to see that, man. Nobody wants to see that, man. And it's not even the mark in me saying that. It's just what's there to see.
We all know who's winning, right?
We all know who's winning. It didn't take Dana White telling us to who's going to win. And if for some reason Brock wins the title or retains on Sunday, he's going to drop it on Monday. So I'm done, man. Like, I'm done. This title has just been completely worthless. It's been trash. Why? Tell me a reason, Goose. Tell me a reason why I should be invested in the Universal title.
Well, I thought about that in the car today, and I thought we all know Roman Reigns is going to win, but it's not if, it's how. So it's kind of like I would think in the new Avengers movies coming out, we all know Thanos may lose, but you want to see the how. So what if we applied that to wrestling? That's what I was thinking about in the car today. Is I know Reigns is going to win for sure, but I kind of want to see the how. So I don't care about the outcome that much.
Really,
Now, if Brock
you
won,
want
I'd be
to
surprised.
you want to see the how. You're gonna be 10 German suplexes and 6 Superman punches and a 1-2-3 for the win. That's it. That's all we're
Yeah,
getting out of this match, bro.
yeah, it's going
I
to be bad. You're right. It will be
I
bad.
don't want to see that. I literally don't want to see this match at all. It needs to be on the pre-show. I am advocating for this to be on the pre-show, man. That's how, and not just on the pre-show. It needs to be the opener on the pre-show because that's
Yeah,
how crappy this match is, bro.
maybe it should open the pre-show. Now, I mentioned a second ago Daniel Bryan, if where his comeback should be on the card. Let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown,
Yeah.
I thought SmackDown was just okay, but the only takeaway I had from SmackDown was I really like what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, how they're not really fighting or anything like that in the ring, but they've been showing each other the past 2 weeks like, hey, I could hit you with my finisher at any time. Just wait till Sunday and I'll hit it on you.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking the exchange between both of them leading up to the match. I do hate the announce table keep calling this a dream match. I just
Yeah, it's getting overboard.
something about that kind of just kills me. WWE commentary really knows how to kill momentum for their products, man. Just crazy, man. But the highlight, really, that's the highlight of the show, bro. Let's talk about Aiden English throwing down bars, bruh.
Oh yeah, that was his first time doing that?
That was his first time doing it, man. That fool threw down bars on Sunil Singh and then went into Rusev J. And that was the biggest pop of the night, bruh. That dude, how can you not put the title on my man Rusev and his manager Aiden English, bruh? Is 2018 the year of the manager? I think it is, man, and I'm loving it. This is what we need.
You know, I think unfortunately Rusev may not win, or he'll fall into the one of those people that, man, we really wanted this guy to get over. He just never got over, unfortunately. Because Rusev Day is getting great pops. So I'm pulling for him at WrestleMania, but I'll get into my WrestleMania predictions just here in a bit. Anything else from SmackDown kind of tickle your fancy?
Not so much, man. I thought the commentary was pretty fun. Dude, Baron Saxon and Cody, or not Cody, Corey Graves. I love their chemistry together, bro. I love when Corey tells him to shut up. Like,
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
you don't even know what you're talking about, or Saxton. Shut up.
Oh yeah, it's
I love
amazing.
it, bro.
Well, let's get into our WrestleMania review. We got a lot to get into because WrestleMania is packed this year. We're going to start it off with our opinions on. You know what? Let's just skip the Brock Reigns match because we already said
It's pre-show. Number one match, baby.
Yeah.
Pre-show.
So let's continue with the pre-show. Let's go with Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali because
Bruh.
I have Cedric winning this
Yo.
one.
Yo, this is IRWP, bruh. We don't book great matches on the pre-show, bruh. That is a main card match. Let's go into the first battle royal.
Okay,
Calling audible.
we'll start with the women's battle royal then.
Gotcha.
So women's battle royal, I'm gonna just go with Sasha to win it because she's kind of flirting with heel.
I've got Becky Lynch winning this one, bro. I think it'll be between. I think the last three competitors will be Sasha, Becky, and Bailey. And I think Bailey takes out Sasha, and then Becky takes out Bailey, and then that's how she wins it.
Yeah, good. I don't think we'll have any surprises there. So the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is pretty much every
hold up,
single.
Goose. Hold up, Goose. For the women's battle royal, do you think we're gonna get any surprise entrants in there? I know we talked
Yeah,
about Ember Moon, but I'm wondering if you think maybe Beth Phoenix or Iconic will show up.
we might. They're not going to win, so that's why I kind of don't care about all the random entrants. We might. I don't, maybe. Do you?
Yeah, I think so, man. I'm hoping Iconic is in it, man. 'Cause they ain't got nothing going on during the weekend. They deserve to be in there. It'd be nice to showcase them.
They certainly could. And speaking of special entrants, do you think in the men's battle royal we're going to have any special entrants? Maybe a legend or something like that.
I do, man. I've heard some rumblings that the other half of Beer Money is said to be competing inside of the battle royal. I mean, it's just a rumor, but people are really getting behind that. So that would be pretty interesting to get Cowboy Storm.
Yeah,
James Storm.
Back. Well, hey, everybody's in New Orleans this weekend, so they can get anybody. I've got Baron Corbin actually winning this thing and him being the first 2-time winner.
I think I've got Bray Wyatt winning this one, man.
Is it because he hasn't done anything else at all? Hasn't won a match in like forever?
I think that this is going to. I think we're going to get a repackaged Bray Wyatt. And I think that the best way to repackage him and to debut him and take him seriously is having him get a W. And what better way to get a W than to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial? Now, I'm hoping it has the opposite effect, considering that his career has just been like all over the place. Maybe this will actually be a kickstart to it. I mean, the final deletion was the first step in the right direction.
Right.
And I think that the Battle Royal might be the second step to getting him to have a good comeback.
Perfect. So let's get into WrestleMania because we have a lot of show to predict. So let's just go with Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Now that we're on the main card, I got Cedric winning for sure, and I think
I got Mustafa, bro. Mustafa.
It's going to be a great match. I can tell you that.
Yes.
It'll be a really good match.
This is going to probably be the show stealer, to be honest with you, man. I think this one has the biggest potential. That's why this can't be on this has to be on the main card, bro. These two, if you've never seen these two wrestle before, you guys are in for a huge treat. These guys can go in the ring. They are great storytellers. This is going to be one of those matches where you just sit back and you just enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I think these two guys are going to go, and we're going to see some really cool spots. I'm going to kind of call these matches by just general order. No real order here, but we have a triple threat match with The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. I think The Miz retains because the other two guys don't need a title to do anything at all.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think The Miz will retain it. I don't think Finn needs the belt. I think that they're going to save Finn for the Balor Club run. And then I honestly think that Seth is going to SmackDown after Mania. They'll have either a superstar shakeup or some type of draft, and he's going to be thrown over there to SmackDown.
Now, similar title on SmackDown: Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal. Versus
Rusev Day.
I would love to see Rusev take this one. I don't think he will. I really would. But I've got Bobby Roode. I've got Bobby. I'm going to say Bobby Roode winning this one.
Bobby doesn't need the title. I think that his money lies in him turning heel, and I think that he'll do that, but he'll do it with a program with Randy Orton. Orton doesn't need the title either. It was just kind of for show, just to say that, hey, he's won it, because I don't think that they're going to let him break Cena's record. With that being said, I think Jinder's going to win the title, but I think that on Tuesday night, he'll have a one-on-one match with Rusev, and Rusev will win the title off of him.
Nice. Nice. I dig where you're going with that. Let's get into women's action. I'm going to start with Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, because that's going to be that's one of the highlights of WrestleMania. I've personally got Asuka winning in a very competitive match.
Bro, I want Asuka to win this match so bad. So bad. I have this funny feeling that they are going to have Charlotte go over Asuka, to piss off the fans. Look, I've been saying this for about a year. Charlotte isn't as great as everybody says that she is in the ring and on the mic whatsoever. She's not.
Wow.
I think that she has great showings, but it really depends on who you put her in the ring with, right? She had a great match with Sarah Logan. She had a great match with Sasha Banks. She had a great match with Ruby Riott. Her matches are subpar when she goes against Natalia, when she goes against Carmella, which, like, those matches, like, she seems like, it's not that she seems like she's struggling. It's just more of, like, she's not a great ring general when she's going up against them. Asuka's the complete opposite. Like, her matches with everybody is competitive, and you really believe that she's given a good fight. Like, we're talking about what's her name? Alicia Fox. Match was great.
Emma.
Emma. Match was fantastic. Every single one of them. Her match, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, iconic. I mean, her matches are, anyone you put her, she's like AJ. Anyone you put her in the ring with, she makes the matches believable, fun. They're not clunky whatsoever. And this is someone that there's, a language barrier versus someone who, who doesn't have a language barrier. Like, I don't know what it is with Charlotte, but she's not cutting it anymore.
She's kind of gotten stagnant, was what you're saying. So, yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm pulling for Asuka, but we'll see who wins. And the reason I picked this match before the other women's match is because I'm curious to your thoughts on the end. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Tell me what's going to happen at the end of this match.
Yo! Nia Jax, she's not gonna win this match, bro. It's Mickie James is gonna interfere in the match, and Nia's just gonna go ballistic. It's gonna go ballistic. She's going to annihilate Alexa Bliss after the bell rings. She's gonna leave, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be FABOLUOS. My girl Mella. It's gonna be Mella Mania, yo. I'm in retrospect, I'm loving Carmella's reign, bruh. I am loving her up and comings to stardom here, man. She's gonna cash in on Alexa Bliss, bruh. That's freaking huge. She's gonna cash in on Alexa Bliss, and it's gonna be amazing.
I'm curious, man. I think that she's cashing in this weekend, and I'm gonna dig every second of it. Now, let's get in the bar and Braun Strowman. Is Braun going to end up picking a tag team partner? Because I think me and you both agree on who we want it to be, right? And it's
got to be Elias, man.
It's got to be. I think that's who the wrestling community is pulling for. Now, the question is, do they win? My answer is just flat out yes.
Yes. Period.
Okay.
They win.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fans want to see Elias and Braun together. I think it's going to be huge. It'll be a good enough match. Now, from a competitive tag team standpoint, the Usos versus the New Day. We're not sure which two in the New Day, but Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm going to say, to be honest with you, because it's a triple threat, I've got the Usos winning and then losing to the Bludgeon Brothers within probably on Tuesday, but within a month.
Yeah, I agree. It just makes the most sense. Give the Usos their WrestleMania moment. They deserve it. And just have them drop the titles. I do think that they do need to drop the titles, just for the sake of the division. But drop the titles to the Bludgeon Brothers on Tuesday night. Don't do it. I mean, Tuesday is just as big for them than WrestleMania is for them. Um, I mean, it's not the Monday after Raw kind of pop, but it's still there. You still get some of the ambiance of that international crowd. Give them something to pop for. Let's get the the title changed on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I'm full on board with you. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I think Ronda Rousey will make Triple H tap. I'll just keep it simple. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that that's the safe play. Yeah, I mean, Hunter's not opposed to putting people over. That's talent. So I think that that's just the star play. But I will say that was one of my highlights of Raw that I didn't say. But God, I loved it when Stephanie said, "We all know how you get when you lose."
Yeah, I love that.
I absolutely enjoyed. I love her heel work. She is one of the best heel talents ever.
Oh yeah, solid on the mic.
So
She's just good overall.
underrated. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got it. So, are you agreeing that we have Ronda Rousey making Triple H tap?
Oh yeah.
Next tag team match, I think we're both going to be pumped for. It's Daniel Bryan's return. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Cammy, win, they're reinstated. I think we both know. Would you agree that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to win via some fuckery?
I know where we're going with this. I don't know, man. Like I know we all could agree that there's going to be some funny business going on either during the match or after the match, but we just don't know what it is. We could get a Daniel Bryan turn, but then we could also get a Shane McMahon turn as well. I don't know where you put the money, man. Like I don't. Do you get Daniel Bryan out of the GM role early, or do you get Shane, being a McMahon?
Yeah, typical McMahon. I think that Cammy's going to win via some fuckery, maybe, and it could be something as simple as them, Shane and Daniel, bumping into each other, and the distraction causes the win. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are definitely going to win this match, in my opinion. Now, the main event, and what we hope is the true main event.
We're going to get a turn?
Yeah, for sure. If you said pick one now, yes or no, my answer would be yes for sure.
And who would be the turn?
Shane, and it'll be the typical McMahon thing.
Okay.
Now, the real main event, even though you told me once in a lifetime you hate the word dream match, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the title. I hope Shinsuke has an awesome entrance. Let me start by saying that.
Yeah.
I hope they do this man justice. This match is tough to call.
It is.
So I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura. That's if the going gets tough, I can go with Shinsuke.
Yeah. I also think that you go with Shinsuke. And the thing that I'm worried about the most isn't about Shinsuke winning, but I think the aftermath of what's going to happen. I think AJ is going to get traded for Raw or gets traded to Raw, and they're going to try to put him in a program. They're going to do the Jericho treatment with him and Finn being together, and then fighting for the Bullet Club, and then they're going to end up feuding together. So I think that that's where the play is.
In the money play, yeah. So you're right, AJ, and that's what makes this match hard to pick. Is neither one of these guys need a championship to be main level stars. So we have a great WrestleMania coming up this weekend. It's a lot on the card, but would you agree it's a pretty solid card? Maybe not the best of all time, but a very solid card, right?
Oh yeah. What did we name our podcast last week?
Triple Threat Mania, right?
Was it triple? Oh, okay. So I think I was running with stacked as the title before we put it Triple Threat Mania. But that's the word that describes this WrestleMania. It is completely stacked, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, there's a lot head to toe, and we didn't get Bayley and Sasha. That's without Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah, for sure. I guess they're gonna just incorporate that into the Battle Royal, and I guess for the most part, I'm okay with that. So
yeah, it'll get its own time on a future card. WrestleMania this Sunday. A lot going on this weekend in wrestling. If you're out in New Orleans, hit us up. Send us a ton of pics. We'll retweet them. We'll post them out. Do whatever we can. We just want to see you guys. What's that? Yeah, no, nothing in the DM. Trust me, nothing in the DM. So send out a ton of pics. We would love to see what's going down because we know it's going to be a mark-filled city out in New Orleans. I told you earlier, killing them with content. If you listen to the show that we had uploaded not too long ago, we had some NXT predictions. Go back and listen to that. We also had Hall of Fame discussion, a simple Hall of Fame discussion between Sage and I, two distinguished gentlemen. I told you I'd give you the phone number. It's 419-777-IRWP. If you don't know what IRWP is because, well, you don't know how to use a phone the right way, it's 4797. So it's 419-777-4797. Hit us up, IRWP.us. Ben_Goosen and Sage, where can they find you? Even though we've told them where they could find us 20 million times.
Yeah, they should look at episode number 2 that we did for this series. I digress. At Real WrestleCast on Twitter or Sage the Mark on Twitter. We also got Instagram at It's Real Wrestling Podcast. But if you don't remember that, just hit up our website, IRWP.us, or hit the hashtag IRWP on any one of your social media platforms, and you'll find us there as well.
It's that simple, y'all. Huge wrestling weekend in the wrestling community. NJPW, ROH, Impact, Lucha Underground, all these guys going head to head. Pretty much every wrestler of all time is going to be in New Orleans this weekend. So have fun, take pics, send them all to us, retweet us, hit us up, IRWP.us at Ben_Goosen. You know how to find us. Just type it in Google. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, Ben Goosen. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go enjoy WrestleMania weekend. Thank you for listening to our Killing Them with Content week. Again, your boy, Ben_Goosen. Keep it real.
Real.